The Starlight Wanderer drifted through the empty void of space, its sleek blue hull glinting in the light of a distant star. Inside the main bridge, Captain Elira gazed out at the star map projected before her. Her large, silver eyes blinked slowly as she considered their next destination. "Captain, all systems are running at optimal levels," First Officer Marin reported, his thin fingers dancing across the control panel. Like all Talarians, both he and Elira stood just over 5 feet tall, with slender limbs and delicate features, adapted to their homeworld's gentle gravity and peaceful evolutionary path. Elira nodded, her translucent skin showing the faint blue pulse of her circulatory system. "Good. We should reach the next survey point within 12 hours. The Talarian science vessel had been mapping this sector for nearly 3 months. Their mission was simple: document new star systems, catalog habitable planets, and avoid conflict. The Talarian Confederation had evolved without major predators on their homeworld, developing advanced technology through cooperation rather than competition. Their ships were built for scientific discovery, not combat. "Captain," called Communications Officer Trell from his station, "I'm detecting an unusual energy signature at coordinates 387642. Elira turned, curiosity piqued. "Put it on the main display." The holographic projection shifted, showing a pulsing red dot against the star map. "It doesn't match any known Talarian or allied ship," Trell continued, his voice growing concerned. "The energy pattern is aggressive." Before Elira could respond, the ship's sensors blared an urgent alarm. 3 dark shapes appeared on the scanner, approaching rapidly from behind a nearby asteroid field. "Unknown vessels on intercept course," called the sensor operator, her voice rising in pitch. "They're powering up weapon systems." Elira felt her dual hearts quicken. Combat was rare in this part of the galaxy. The Talarian Confederation had treaties with most spacefaring species. "Activate defensive shields," she ordered. "Prepare engines for emergency jump." The bridge crew scrambled to comply, but fear slowed their movements. Talarians weren't built for crisis situations. Their bodies produced overwhelming stress hormones at the first sign of danger, an evolutionary response, meant to encourage flight rather than fight. The main view screen switched to show their pursuers. 3 black ships with jagged, predatory designs closed in rapidly. Their hulls bore no insignia, no identifying markers. "Pirates," whispered Marin, his skin paling to a sickly white. The first impact rocked the Starlight Wanderer, sending crew members tumbling from their stations. The lights flickered, then stabilized as backup systems engaged. "Shields at 60%, called the defensive systems operator. "They're using focused ion cannons. They're trying to disable us, not destroy us." A cold dread settled in Elira's stomach. Ships disabled by pirates were rarely found again. Their crews disappeared without a trace. "Jump drive status?" she demanded. "T." Engine officer shook his head. "The gravitational disturbance from the nearby star is too strong. We need to move at least half a parsec before we can safely jump." Another blast rocked the ship. This time, several consoles exploded in showers of sparks. "Shields at 30%, hull breach on deck 4. Elira gripped the arms of her command chair. "Emergency protocols. Alert all personnel to prepare for possible boarding. Security teams to vital areas." She knew their dozen security officers, armed with simple stun weapons, would be little match for pirates, but she had to try. The communications panel lit up with an incoming transmission. Trell hesitated before accepting it. A harsh face filled the screen, reptilian with vertical pupils and scales in mottled gray and green. Sharp teeth showed as the creature smiled. "Talarian vessel," the being hissed, its translator converting the sounds to understandable language. "I am Captain Drex of the Vex Acquisition Fleet. Your ship has been selected for salvage and your crew for processing. Power down your systems immediately." Elira stood, forcing steadiness into her voice. "This is a scientific vessel of the Talarian Confederation. We have no valuable cargo. Leave us in peace and there will be no consequences for this aggression." The Vex captain laughed, a sound like grinding stones. "Consequences? From Talarians? Your species is known throughout the galaxy for its weakness. You evolved without predators. We evolved as predators. The natural order is about to assert itself. The transmission cut. Seconds later, another blast hit the ship, more powerful than before. "Direct hit to our main engines," called the sensor operator. "We've lost propulsion." Red emergency lights bathed the bridge as the main power fluctuated. "They're launching boarding craft," reported Marin, his voice barely a whisper. Elira made her decision. "Trell, send an emergency distress call to Tellarian Command. Include our coordinates and situation report." Trell turned to his console, fingers shaking as he prepared the transmission. "Long-range communications are damaged, Captain. I can send a general distress call, but I can't target it specifically to our homeworld." "Send it anyway," Elira ordered, "to anyone who can hear it." As Trell worked, Elira activated the ship-wide communication system. "All personnel, this is Captain Elira. We are under attack by Vex pirates. All non-essential crew, proceed to escape pods. All others, prepare for potential boarding. This is not a drill." She turned to Marin. "Begin data purge protocols. Destroy all research and star charts. Nothing valuable can fall into their hands." On the view screen, they watched as 3 smaller craft detached from the Vex ships, heading directly for their hull. "Distress signal ready," Trell announced. "But the targeting system is malfunctioning. I can't control which direction it will go." "Send it anyway," Elira repeated. "Any help is better than none." Trell's fingers entered the final sequence. In his haste and fear, he transposed 2 critical numbers in the galactic positioning system. Instead of broadcasting toward nearby Allied space, the signal shot off in nearly the opposite direction, toward a sector marked as a void in their navigational database. "Message sent," he reported, unaware of his mistake. The distress call raced through space at faster-than-light speeds, carrying a simple message. "Tellarian science vessel Starlight Wanderer under attack by Vex forces at coordinates 872265. Boarding in progress. Any assistance appreciated. Please hurry." The signal passed through empty systems beyond the normal patrol routes of allied species. It continued into a region most spacefaring races deliberately avoided, a zone containing a yellow star with a 3rd planet classified in the Galactic Registry as Extreme Deathworld. On the Starlight Wanderer, the first explosion signaled the Vex cutting through the outer hull. Security alerts blared from every deck. "They're in," Marin whispered. Elira stood tall, though fear made her legs weak. "Lock down the bridge. Arm yourselves with whatever we have. And pray that someone hears our call." Little did she know that their signal was already being received by a species unlike any the Tellarians had ever encountered. A species that evolved on a world of predators, disasters, and constant competition. A species whose response would forever change the galaxy's understanding of the word dangerous. The first Vex boarding party reached the science deck, their heavy footsteps echoing through the corridors. Behind sealed doors, Tellarian crew members huddled in fear, waiting for their fate. And far away, on a planet the Tellarians considered uninhabitable, the first human ships prepared to respond. Admiral James Jackson stood with his hands clasped behind his back, staring at the vast emptiness of space through the reinforced viewport of the UES Defiance. At 6 feet tall with broad shoulders and weathered skin, he cut an imposing figure, even in the standard Navy uniform. 30 years of military service had left him with gray at his temples and a reputation for making the right calls in tough situations. "Admiral," called Lieutenant Wells from the communication station, "we're picking up a distress signal." Jackson turned, one eyebrow raised. Patrol Sector 7 was usually quiet. The edge of human space rarely saw much activity. "Source?" "Unknown, sir," Wells replied, adjusting his headset. "It's not a human frequency, and it doesn't match any alliance signatures in our database."